on. Um, yeah.
Game over.
Hello everyone and welcome to week number 5 of Taskmaster. We are getting through these tasks quite quickly. Joining me tonight for week 5 is Sam Instone, the man, the myth, the media director. Sam, how are you doing?
Good evening, Mr. Harrison. It is fantastic being here and a pleasure to be here this evening. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to judge one of these rounds. But wait a second, who's putting it all together?
It's still you. It's still you. You're doing so much. Absolute legend. Yes, for those who don't know, Sam has been working feverishly behind the scenes on these Taskmaster episodes, filming them, putting them together, and getting them out to you wonderful folks. So this week's task, if we take a look, is pitch perfect. Loving the play on words. Build a Quidditch pitch, if you can remember what one looks like. Points for scale and for creativity. If I remember rightly, your sort of top tips on this one was detail, looking for detail in the diorama, in your wonderful words.
Yeah, one thing I wanted here was, if you guys are creating a diorama for these DIY Quidditch pitches, the detail really matters. So I'm really looking forward to this week's entries and seeing what our teams have provided.
Very nice. But anyway, let's actually get into it and let's take a look at Bristol's entry. Once again, the Bristol Puff Production Studio has cranked out a wonderful video showing us the construction of their entry. So let's take a look.
Love the Phantom Pooper production house. It's got some good stuff coming out.
The Bristol Puffs,
who would chance the perilous journey through blistering cold and scorching desert, traveling for many days and nights.
Love the samples. Love the sample use.
To reach
Mount Olympus.
Olympians, we know you are here. Show your faces.
Oh wow, they've gone into detail with the painting.
Olympians! Bristol Quidditch Club are here to challenge you once and for all to claim the British Quidditch Cup. What say you?
You are beneath us. You are not worthy to stand on the same pitch as the Olympians.
Doesn't seem they want to play us. We came all this way for nothing.
This is some real Lord of the Rings style of stuff going on here.
Are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready. I'm more than ready. It's time to bring the cup home.
I present to you Tom Ower, club founder and greatest player in our history. I'm sure even you Olympians would agree this Quidditch warrior is worth putting down your platted loaves of bread.
What's the scaling all about with some of these models? The pitch designers are immaculate.
Are you ready?
Yeah!
Olympians, are you ready?
Yes!
Brooms down. Ready. Brooms up!
Hold. Brooms down. Everybody stay where you are. Iwood, you have your D20 available.
Yeah, boy. Now what do I do, mysterious voice from the sky?
Could you please roll for initiative for me?
Okay. I can't believe it. He's only gone and done it.
Grizzle Bears, you travel
blistering winds, scorching desert. I climb to the highest
Olympus to get here, and now you have vanquished the Olympians for good.
Yay! Still going, Nando's win or lose.
Hark back to the last
going,
challenge.
Nando's win or lose.
That continuity is really important.
Still be going, Nando's. Still be going, Nando's. Still be going, Nando's win.
Wait a second, are there screws? Are they screws for the hoops?
Yes. So I can go into a little bit of detail on the pitch here. So it's the pitch itself is polystyrene and papier-mâché, and it's raised. You could see it was on little steps at the corner, and that's to be lit from below for play at night. So the hoops are made of screws and flattened paper straws for the loops on the hoops, and they've used Dungeons and Dragons figurines for the Bears team and the referee, and then clay figurines for the Olympians team and the Bulls. And yeah, if we take a look at the photos, they've included a couple of photos of the creation process of this. So
like a behind-the-scenes sort of documentary vibe about it.
Exactly. They assured me that they followed all the relevant COVID guidelines at all points, so very well done there. And we can see we've got the daytime, nighttime, daytime, nighttime. So they've put a lot of effort into this. Yeah, then we've got a close-up shot of the Bears figs. As you said, they've gone into a lot of detail.
I noticed the 3 stripes down the middle straight away, and like even looking at this picture now, the socks come out so well. Like it actually took me a second to distinguish whether these were like real figures you'd get from a shop or like custom. So I was fooled.
Nice. Yeah, and then a close-up of the Olympians team as well. Yeah, I think they were going for the definitely for the god feel, because this team is easily 2 or 3 times as tall as the Bears team.
I definitely do love the detail as well. You know, with the accuracies of the Olympian characters. I've just noticed the pink guy in the middle's like poor attempt at a 6-pack abs.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, can you imagine going up against a 20-foot player? I mean, it sounds ridiculous.
I definitely cannot.
Especially one that can throw lightning bolts at you. Yeah, so the next picture we can see the steps at the corner to allow the lighting from underneath, and sort of the Parthenon Acropolis feel to the whole thing. And then yeah, the last picture there just for a sense of the scale of the starting lineup.
That is an incredible feat overall so far.
What are your thoughts overall on this submission?
Honestly, it took a while to for me to realize all the different elements, but yeah, I'm just completely blown away that they've definitely matched the brief, the pro tip of the guest judge for the week, and also just had their own creative flair on it. The outer decoration of the main pitch itself is absolutely fantastic. The amount of detail they've got into this polystyrene and tried to make it really weathered, of looking all wondrous. It is really paid off as well. And I did actually mention I was looking for in scale figurines to be on that pitch with a diorama. And again, the more I look at it, the more I realize small details. Like, for instance, I thought the keeper figure who said "yeah boy" was just holding up a microphone, but actually it's a broomstick. So, this is one of those where the more you look into it, the more things that come out. And I think I definitely will be looking at this one again and again, even after the competition has ended and I've made my decision, to see if I can get all the Easter eggs.
Nice. Yeah, one thing I find a little hard to swallow, though, is they're still using the old pill-shaped pitch. About 3 years out of date there, Puffs. The rulebook's changed and you've not kept up. Let's move on. Speaking of moving on, it's time for our next team. And next up we have East Midlands Vipers. They've supplied a wonderful video to show the construction of their entry.
Similar theme going on with the narrative. Ooh, matches. Oh, wow. What's going on here? Good sense of measuring and scaling. Yeah. Wow, this is very, very specific. It's almost like you're cutting a wire of an explosive device or something. Wow, that is. How much time do these people have? I love the subtitle at the bottom. QuidditchUK Media, take note. Oh, wait. Well, to definitely say something off the cuff of that, they had big dreams, and they were definitely realized.
Yeah, so they have recreated the Quidditch pitch on the millimeter scale rather than the meter scale. So it is exactly 1,000 times smaller than a regulation Quidditch pitch. We can see from the photos they provided as well. They've used little chunks of matchsticks for the players. Like all the detail they could fit on was a little headband and smiley face. Not very much room to work with, understandably. The hoops are made of copper wire that's been bent and superglued into position. No more blowing over in the wind. And the balls are made out of white tack, and they painted the blood as well.
Yeah, I've definitely just noticed that whilst, you know, the painting of the pitch and the grass is fantastic, the small detail of the sort of crowd in the background holding the Sport and Vipers banner is great as well. It, you know, just those small little details is really good to the finished product. I do have one thing which I'd like to just sort of reflect on, and that's the kind of first image that we see right after the first title of the massive pitch, you know, covering all of or most of Europe. What's your take on that, Eamon?
I mean, if they had managed to pull that off, I would have been seriously impressed. But, you know, COVID guidelines, can't travel very much. It's makes it a little bit harder. It would have required a lot of international cooperation to pull off within 1 week.
No, absolutely, and I'm sure, you know, there's an anti-doping policy somewhere to make sure that our players don't, you know, grow to the size of giants and can't recreate this fantastic photo that they've created here. But no, with all jokes aside, the kind of mini pitch itself, yeah, a really great effort. You know, when I was thinking scale, I thought people would just sort of, you know, half-arse it, wing it completely. But yeah, these guys have gone to town for sure.
There are a couple of extra details. The next photo is zoomed in a little bit further so we can see these extra details. So on the halfway line, closest to us, we can see a beater battle that's taking place. One of the beaters is laying down on the floor and has just been beat in the face.
I see that, yeah.
There is a chaser sitting in the penalty box. Must have done something naughty. And then we've got the two seekers waiting in their sub boxes, waiting for the seeker floor to expire. Normally, I would try and throw in a couple of puns around this, but honestly, there are so many that we can make here. I decided to just make them all. So strap yourselves in. This shouldn't take too long. Vipers are hoping their opponents are no match for them as they light up QUK Taskmaster with this effort. They'll have to strike down the other teams to make sure they don't flame out of the competition and instead carry on in a blaze of glory. These Midlands teams will need to box clever to survive the heat of the competition if they want to fire their way up the leaderboard and ignite fireworks of victory as the applause spreads like wildfire.
Very good. Very good.
Only 4 entries this week, so we're halfway through. Let's move on to entry number 3. As always, they've put together a wonderful video for us to watch here, detailing their entries. Let's take a look at Olympians' video.
Of course, it stretched our budget quite a bit, but not having to pay BQC fees last year did go a long way to helping us get the £42.5 million investment we needed to go into our new grounds. You can see over there that we've got a statue of Matt Fenton. He insisted that we put that up because, well, he wouldn't release funds if we didn't. We've decked out the pitch with everything that we could need, like hoops and cones and, well, that's pretty much it. It did take Hugh quite a long time to dig out the old markings, whatever they were for.
Bloody Quidditch players. Ruining perfectly good turf.
We're really excited to be
Love
able
the
to
sense of hyper-realism here.
Games going. Unfortunately, at the moment, only Mariana can use it, so she's currently just running fitness up and down the pitch. The stadium itself can fit 76,000 spectators, which we hope should just be about enough space to fit everyone in.
Ooh-wee.
We also have a post-match briefing room for the media.
I'll be honest, I thought we were up on quaffle points then.
Display rooms where you can come and get a photo with your favourite player's laundry.
Oh, that's really cool. They're just going into the more expansive
but we're hoping to get the BQC
elements.
trophy in there.
As Olympians always do.
So we're really excited about our new home here in Manchester, and we hope that you can come play with us very soon.
Love the advertising campaign.
Yeah. They've taken over Manchester-based community team, obviously, with Olympians QC, and they've taken over possibly one of the most iconic sporting locations that we have in the UK, Old Trafford Stadium. Now, in terms of scale, their Quidditch pitch is pretty run-of-the-mill. It's a 1-to-1 scale Quidditch pitch, as far as I can tell, constructed from the standard hoops and cones. So they put most of their effort there into scouting a good location for their pitch. So what are your thoughts?
This is editing genius when it comes to footage that's superimposed. This is definitely a whole team effort of not just one particular person. Sam and the team, Marianne's inclusion as well of the fitness and the starting six. Like, there's all so much elements that have been really thought out into this, and it is a really good video as such.
We can see their starting six. It's certainly an interesting looking team. We've got Mariana lining up as beater, then the chaser pair of Mariana and Mariana. Mariana is in there as keeper, and we can see stretching her legs there. The other beater partner, Mariana. And finally, the speedster on the left wing, we have Mariana in as the third chaser. What do you think of that team, Sam?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think Mariana double cubed, because I don't know the actual mathematical term for Mariana, little six at the top.
To the sixth power, yeah.
To the sixth power, thank you very much. That's definitely my GCSE maths not kicking in. No, I think that's a very strong and commendable starting six. I would definitely be really scared if I was definitely beating against Mariana 1 and 2.
Yeah, and yeah, once again, they went for they had the same kind of idea as East Mids. They went for the spinning drone footage shot, popularized by QPL. Is that the kind of footage that you love to see in Quidditch coverage?
You know what? I actually think drone footage is a bit sickly. I think it's also a little bit show off. I think, the one sort of hero shot, that's really great, and QPL did that fantastically. But, I think there's more down-to-earth, leveled aspects of capturing the game. Yeah, it's obviously a different take on, actually making a Quidditch pitch. So I will definitely factor that in. But, just to round things up, fantastic effort. But yeah, very different so far from what we've seen.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of playing to the referee, as it were, knowing that you judge for this week, going the extra effort with the editing on that. It's I can see them making that decision to play to your strengths, as it were.
Yeah, for sure.
So now we come on to it, the werewolves entry, and as with all of our other submissions, we have a little video explaining the construction of this pitch. So let's take a look. Then you can explain your part in things.
I'd be very happy to. Oh my God. That's a lot of cones. Oh wow, that was really bad. And it's 4 brooms as well. Okay. Being very particular with the bludgers there. I like the colour coding.
Apart from the third one, a little bit slapdash with the third one.
I see how they were putting this together, getting all the cool elements in. Okay, what's going on here? The answer was right in front of us.
Certainly the messy approach. Not sure I appreciate that.
Oh, the first aid kit, the ice packs, and the face mask. The essentials.
Speaking of essentials,
Hoopgate?
so there's a couple of things I want to go into. First, Sam, do you want to explain your involvement?
Yes, absolutely. So this is a bit of an interesting one for Taskmaster so far. So for anyone who hasn't guessed, I was actually the one putting the things into place, but this was generally not my idea. I had the mastermind himself, Philip Sam, orchestrate the entire thing. Basically, he just said, "What equipment do you have?" And I listed everything I had at my house, and he just did do this, do that, and I thought nothing of it. And then with the raw footage that I had filmed, I actually gave it to a teammate of mine to put together. So this is really the first time of the video, seeing the video myself.
So that explains why some of the jump cuts were a bit not as tight as they might otherwise be. If you had been doing the editing, I'm sure they would have been spot on.
Yeah, for sure. And no, I was considering of making kind of like my own contribution to this task, because quite honestly, I would have absolutely loved to do it. And I even said to Werewolves myself, if I wasn't doing the judging, I would fully go ham on this. But yeah, the jump cuts itself, messy. I'm sure we'll get into that in a bit.
Yeah, and then the other thing I wanted to bring up, so some of our younger Quidditch players, younger in terms of Quidditch experience at least, might not remember what Hoopgate is referring to. So could you explain it for them, and definitely not for someone on this recording who was at that tournament and cannot remember for the life of them what Hoopgate is?
I didn't even go to the tournament, but I'll definitely try and rejig my memory of what it was. So Hoopgate hashtag was all about EQC 2017, which was hosted in I've completely forgotten the place it was hosted, but it was in Belgium.
Yes, in Mechelen in Belgium.
Ah, yes, thank you. And basically, the night before, the tournament committee were just like, we don't have the hoops for the tournament. And I think this was made public a couple of hours before the start of the event. Came the tag Hoopgate. And when the tournament actually got going, hoops did arrive, but I think they were driven from Germany to Belgium overnight.
Yeah, it's starting to come back to me. Yeah, someone drove through the night on a brave mission with a bunch of Quidditch hoops in the back of their car.
So that was so Hoopgate, I think, was an idea that Phil probably remembered from all those times ago, and like probably got included in the video, because I think we could only find 3 buckets and 3 really big poles. So I think that was a mixed effort from our side.
Yeah, Hoopgate is definitely my second favorite Quidditch scandal. The only other one, which also happened to be at EUC 2017, was Gate, where we turned up on the Saturday morning and all had to stand outside a gate for 2 hours before they would let us into a tournament. I love it just because we could refer to it as Gate. I think that's the only time that adding Gate to make a scandal name is acceptable. But anyway, enough of the old farts reliving their memories. Let's carry on talking about Werewolf submission.
I see obviously what our idea was behind the cones. We had like a red and a blue side, and I think like in the notes as well, there was definitely like a keeper boundary signified by like the last red cones and the last blue cones of either side. As well as I can also see from the picture here, there's 2 yellow cones on the far right-hand side that kind of signify the seeker positions. But yeah, why are there only 4 brooms? I have no idea on each side. But it's definitely not, a micro scale pitch. It's not accurate, especially for the buckets as well. Like, I can completely relate to how the other teams went to town with recreating hoops and all the small details. And this werewolves 3P has just been a bit lazy and kind of conjured up whatever they found literally in their back garden to put all of this together.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a mix of scales. So obviously the Quidditch pitch has been shrunk down, but the brooms, the balls, and the hoops haven't. But yes, I do like the safety touches of having the first aid kit, ice packs, and the face masks on the side. Now I think that's a nice little touch as well.
It's definitely the most important part of Quidditch.
Well, that is all of our entries.
But wait! There's more!
So we have a bonus section of the episode this week. Southsea, who have competed for the last few weeks, did create an entry, but managed to forget to fill out the Google form on time. So they will get 3 points for participating, but they won't be eligible for any of the podium points. But nonetheless, Sam, shall we take a look at the video they've submitted?
Yep, absolutely. Still looking forward to seeing it.
Cool. Let's give it a shot.
We're building a Quidditch pitch out of Lego. For this to work properly, we need to scale the real pitch size down to that of the scale of a minifigure.
I feel like I recognise that voice.
Really nicely, being that the pitch ends up being 60 studs long by about 30 studs wide. It just so happens that one of these Lego base plates
We've got some real Lego facts going on here.
So 2 of those, and we have a pitch. Pitch lines are white. However, I don't have many white bricks.
This definitely screams DIY for sure.
Now we've got the pitch layout set up. We can start adding in some fun bits. Bear in mind, the hoops are definitely the same height and size. I just ran out of bricks. We have added in a little teeny tiny commentators / scorekeeper / timekeepers booth with
our trophies never look as good as that. Sorry, friend.
Proper Quidditch tournament unless there is sufficient medical care available to players. And if you think about it, an ambulance is simply just a camper van with medicine inside. So if we just medical care, we now also
sponsored by
a snitch runner. And what a guy! We need to have 2 teams to actually play each other, otherwise it's useless.
The snitch runner screams
tricky to get
US Cup
figures of the same
8
at least shirt colours to stick
or
on
any
the team. So we're gonna have to stick with 2 sets of minifigures I have a whole boatload of, and they're gonna be knights versus stormtroopers. Brooms up. However, we are going to have to make sure we remove the helmets off these guys, though, because they do, in fact...
Yeah, I was going to say, that's why we don't wear helmets in Quidditch.
Folks. The starting lineup for the Lego Quidditch Cup final is all ready for go. We have our first aiders ready. As always, a long-ass queue for the toilets. And the crowd is ready. We have goal refs.
Dog on the pitch, standard.
Head sheriff. However, our assistant refs haven't showed up yet, so the pitch manager is frantically shouting for them to turn up because it wouldn't be a Quidditch match without volunteers not turning up on time. And here we go.
100%.
Everyone is ready for brooms up. But what's that? Is that rain? No, there would never be rain on a Quidditch day.
Oh no! Oh! No!
Oh, that is poetic and beautiful, I think.
Oh, I could cry.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on this effort?
I do really appreciate, the level of detail that they've gone into. I actually do think that one of the hoop choices for the, I think it was the left side, I think it was the night side's pitch, was straight out of a Lego Harry Potter set. Like, I have that Lego Harry Potter set. Like, I know the piece and I know exactly where they got it from. So, like, I found it a bit cheating, but I did actually appreciate they kind of recreated, them on the Stormtroopers side. George Lucas, please don't copyright this video. No, I loved it until the rain came, and there was so much realism in there, recreated in Lego. I generally do think that it would be a good entry if it was submitted on time. So Southsea, sorry, yeah, could have been so much more. But fair play to you for all the effort that you put in, and a fantastic and funny video as always.
Yeah, I did notice a little bit of detail as well. Once they'd taken the helmets off the players, of course, did pass the knock test, got to go. They put a couple of little Lego dots on the top in the correct the positions of the players. Thought was very good attention to detail there.
Absolutely, I did notice that myself. Actually, I was looking more into what the figures were wearing on their heads, and yeah, it's a nice touch. It's definitely a nice touch. It would be a shame if someone got a permanent marker and just drew, a headband on a minifigure, especially because some actually go for so much nowadays. I actually saw a particular figure on eBay for £800.
Spending the dollar on the Legos. Here we've got a little overview. So just a reminder, as always, the 4 teams that have entered will pick up 3 points just for participating. And then, Sam, you have the power, unless I decide to overrule you, but you have the power to distribute an extra 3 points for third place, 5 points for second place, and 7 points for first place. So let's start at the bottom of the podium. Who is your pick for third place and why?
I think there's a clear indication of 3 teams who have done exceptionally well to the brief. Met the requirements of scale, played into my hands of creativity, not just with video editing, but also model making. I love every contribution here on the board. But in terms of decisions, I'm going to base it similar to what Abby did on sort of team effort and also just general how much effort went into something. Even though they put a lot of effort and time into it, I'm going to have to say that Vipers are my third position pick. I love the creativity behind it. I actually really adored the command of color that went into the grass. And I actually chose this nomination to be third place because I don't actually know how many people contributed to this. So, fantastic if this was an individual passion project. But, there's been some real team effort with some of the entries. And I love the scaling whatsoever with the players and the balls and everything. Someone's got to be third, second, and first, obviously. And Vipers were my third place pick for this week.
Yeah, in terms of sort of number of people, I think they may have had a lot of people contributing to the idea, but I think in terms of the actual construction, from what I can tell from the video, there were 2 people involved in the construction. Vipers will pick up 3 points there. So thank you for the reasons for third place. Let's move on to second.
Okay, so my second pick, I think it's a dead ringer of who is going to be, picks for this. But it has honestly been a really tough decision. But I actually am going to pick Olympians for second place. Now, I do appreciate the amount of effort and teamwork that went into the video. Don't get me wrong, I love the extra aspects of the position. Of the video itself, and I was completely joking about the the drone footage shot. I love the creativity whatsoever, and a different version of camera angles is always a tick in my book. The fact that nothing physical was made for this does obviously impact that factor, and even though there's a lot of Easter eggs, it deserves to be a second place just because I really, really commend Olympians for their work, but I don't think it's the best entry so far.
Okay, so that begs the question, who is the best entry?
Well, Eamon, I'm really glad you asked me this, and I think it's a very clear winner, but I do generally think that Bristol took it away in a snapshot. With their level of detail of their diorama, with their scale, with their creativity, with their clay models and their GameStop figures that they painted the team colors. That is dedication. And again, I think I might have given it away at the beginning, but I am going to look at this image several times after the recording of this stops and just look at it so I can actually get like all the Easter eggs that were included. And especially with the Olympians one, like, don't get me wrong, that was a commendable effort from them. But I think with the amount of effort, and especially with the behind the scenes photo of the big team that put this all together, no, it's really got to be rewarded. So that is my reasoning for why Bristol is my first place pick and the champions of this week's challenge.
Very nice. So we can take a look at the leaderboard for this week. Olympians are still in the lead on 42 points, but Bristol are closing the gap in second place with 37 points. Vipers are still sitting pretty in third with 28 points, and Wales are just behind them in fourth on 25 points. Southsea have managed to pull ahead of their opponents, Force Raptors. Southsea with 15 points and Force Raptors with 12. And Southampton still sitting on the bottom with 3 points. Come back to us, Southampton. Raise that anchor one more time.
Come on, Southampton. Even from me, you're letting the side down. You can do better than this. 3, 2, 1, we got this. That's your chant. Make it count.
Very good. So that's all for week 5. Thank you for joining us, Sam. I hope you had fun.
I don't think I've ever guest judged anything before, so I'm really thankful for obviously QuidditchUK events and yourself for all having me. And I really think this challenge has obviously gone on the up and up. And the leaderboard's definitely getting interesting. So really looking forward to seeing how teams can spin it in their general direction in the next couple of weeks. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. And we will see you all next week for week 6 of Taskmaster. La fin.
Game over.